I just came from Brazil.
Oh, wonderful. Is the show in Brazil?
Yeah.
Oh.
And I would like to know what can we expect for the second season? More fun, more romance, more drama?
All of it. We really like to balance the show between the drama and the comedy. Mariana's Workplace, Speculate, tends to be a little more rom-com, more comedy. Callie's World, more dramatic and about criminal and social justice. And then the Coterie is sort of about romance and roommates and friendships. And we still like to do episodes, like last season we had the episode, which is Davia's birthday episode, and then we had the dating episode where everybody was picking dates for each other. And I think those are really important episodes because they just get to be fun. And my idea with the show is always, I don't want you to know exactly what you're going to get every week. So you don't know. This might be a funnier one, this might be a more intense episode, and this might focus on these characters, the next episode might focus more on the other ensemble characters. So to sort of kind of, keep it, mix it up, because you got to keep people engaged and interested in the show.
Yeah, and so kind of going off that, was it always the plan for Mariana to stay at Speculate? Because I know at the end of season 1, she, had the decision of should she take her out elsewhere, or can she take it elsewhere? Was it always the plan for her to stay at Speculate?
No, not always.
Okay.
One thing that at the beginning of a season, I'll go into the network and I'll pitch the arcs. Right. And then I change them completely as I go, because I'll get different ideas, or I'll think, I'm loving this world, and I just really love the Speculate world for her, and I love where we shoot. We shoot at the Hudson Lofts in Los Angeles, which is a great space, and when that world starts to feel stale, then we'll move her somewhere along, but right now I just feel like there's so much more to do there.
Yeah.
And then this show covers sisterhood and girl power. Why do you think this is important in today's media culture?
Well, we live in a patriarchal society still. I think that showing women in a realistically struggling with being, for instance, equal pay, the gender pay gap, and struggling with basically, sexism as well, I think is important. And I think that in our show, also what we really try to show, that's where we had the Fight Club girls from the in tech that Mariana brings together, is to show that the solution to women empowerment is with women. Is that if we all are supporting each other, if we're all lifting each other up, if we're all empowering one another, we don't need the patriarchy to give us a seat at the table. They can deny one or two of us, but they're not going to deny all of us. And that's sort of the message of the show in that regard. And then sisters are always fun, and they go in and out of having their conflicts. And this season they have some they get, the next season they start to get on each other's nerves, living together, and some issues that come around, and I think that's always fun too. But they always have each other's backs, and that's the important thing.
Go ahead.
I was just going to say, being a spin-off, will we get to see any more characters coming over in season 2? I know it's something fans really want to see.
Absolutely.
From the Fosters. Okay.
Yes.
Is there anyone you can tease?
We love our Fosters family, and so my goal would be to have everyone come.
And so you guys added Patrisse Cullors to the writer's room this year after she was a story consultant in season 1. And I'm curious, just what do you like about having her in the writer's room, and what does she add to the writer's room?
Patrisse adds gravitas everywhere she goes. She also has the most amazing laugh and loves to laugh. And so she brings so much life experience, so much education about the issues that we deal with. But also just life, just characters, and she's great on all of that as well.
Yeah.
And she's super fun to have in the room. I think she keeps us all focused, and she's contributing a lot, and not just on Black Lives Matter or on social justice issues.
Right.
I'm really seeing that she's really quite good at this, at storytelling. Her book's really wonderful
Yeah.
too, and it's just been really fun having her there.
Yeah. Kind of going off of that, did Black Lives Matter, like the storyline come first and then you reached out to her, or was it you reached out to her just kind of pick her brain and then it came from there?
Well, I wanted to have a case that Callie was going to have, and Stefan Clark shooting had happened, and just one of many that continue to happen. And I thought, in most of these cases, the DAs don't bring charges against the police.
Right.
So the only place to get relief is in the federal court system. And I thought that would be a really great place to deal with those matters. And you can't do a story about that without consulting Black Lives Matter.
Right.
And so I read her book, and then I reached out to Patrice, and she was just really game to they're really very encouraging. And she's also, she plays herself in the show. And she does next season play herself in the show, as well as Melina Abdullah, who is the leader of the LA chapter of Black Lives Matter. So it just lends to authenticity, and I don't think you can. And we wanted to get it right, because one thing she had said is that a lot of people on television were portraying Black Lives Matter, but not really in an authentic way,
Right.
and we didn't want to do that.
How would you describe season 2 in one word?
Maybe 2 words.
Maybe 2. 3.
Oh my gosh. Okay. I would say kind of like vibrant, head spinning, lots of shit hitting the fan, a lot of funny. Everybody's amping up, everybody's taking their arc and their story to the next level. You're going to see a new workplace for one of our characters, and you're not going to be able to know. I think it's unpredictable. If I'm going to say a word, it's unpredictable.
Oh, that's great.
Okay. So in the trailers that have been around, we've seen that Gael's first love, Elijah's coming back in the picture. I'm curious, is there anything you can tease about that? Like, how's Callie going to react to all of that?
I think the triangle is really very much alive and will remain that way. One thing we wanted to do is make sure that we're still telling the story of bisexual man,
Right.
and bisexuality, and not suddenly just have him. You're still, by the way, if you're dating someone, it doesn't mean you're not bisexual anymore.
Right.
But it's interesting. Jamie is the kind of guy that sort of takes care of Callie, and Gael's the kind of guy that she sort of takes care of. And it's that thing you vacillate between sometimes. Do you want the steady person who's very caretaking and who sort of represents your career life? Or do you want that person who you sort of have to take care of, maybe who's a little more sensitive in a certain way, who represents the artist in you?
Yeah.
And for Callie, they're really clearly, she wanted to be an artist, she chose the law. So they really, both of them, are symbolic, are symbols of, I'm not really the right word I'm using, but they are, they're sort of each a part of her, the split part of her.
Right.
And so which one will she choose?
Right.
And that's going to be a constant battle.
Yeah. Yeah.
Who do you guys like?
Gotta go with the hair, Gael.
Oh, you're Gael?
Yeah.
Gael?
Yeah.
Okay, good. All right, good,
Yeah.
good. Because you've got a lot of Team Jamies out there,
I
too.
know. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I have another question though. So I really liked where you guys went with the Dennis storyline at the end of the season, and I'm curious though, because right now Davi is the only one that knows that he has had a son. He was in the hospital. He almost tried to kill himself. Is that something you think that they'll keep to themselves as like their thing, or like at some point will everyone else in the Coterie find out what Dennis has gone through?
Well, Dennis, is very private, and it's not something that he wants to get out. And I think Davia is very protective of him, as well as falling for him in a
Right.
way. Their relationship is becoming confusing in that regard. They're becoming more than friends in a sense. But you know, it's hard to keep a secret too long anywhere, and especially in television.
Yeah. I know she had given us the wrap it up single at some when she walked by, so I don't know if we're done, but
I have one more.
Yeah, go
I'm sure
for it.
we still have time. We had a couple people tweet us about Evan and what his role is going to be in the next season. So is there anything you can tease that he's going to be a love interest or?
We're always teasing that possibility, and
Everyone.
we're going to see more of him this season, and his relationship with Mariana is going to definitely become more personal and more complicated. But there's also Raj, who, you know, is adorable, and I think for Raj, he can't believe that he has a girlfriend like Mariana.
Yeah.
He has to learn to like trust that. I think he's always thinking, why me?
Yeah, kind of going off that too. I mean, in the episode that they just screened earlier, it was the whole conflict too at the very end of, well, the girls all think that Mariana's going to have this all-female team moving forward, but she's already asked Raj, so I'm assuming that's going to be some kind of conflict throughout the rest of the season.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't think Mariana realized that was the mandate, and so the conflict between the Fight Club girls and her boyfriend is definitely going to be something to deal with.
Yeah, I really loved the episode they screened, so I really loved it. So
Which?
the one they screened at the pilot, or
Oh,
the
thank you.
yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, it's a powerful episode.